Hi there, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Mike, and I'm excited to share another Divi tutorial with you. My goal here is to make learning Divi as straightforward as possible. Today we're going to see how we can animate sections. Now, what do I mean by that? Because we've done a lot of animation on here, but we've never talked about really animating the entire section. So specifically what we're going to animate today is the dividers between the sections. Can you imagine that? If not, let's take a look at what we're going to build. Right, as I scroll down over here, you notice, I actually need to refresh this quickly. All right, so as I scroll down, keep an eye here on the left-hand side. Can you see the animation that happened there as the divider came in? Now we're going to go one step further, look at the bottom of this. Keep your eye at the bottom. As we scroll down, there it starts to droop down like it's paint. All right. So if that's something that you're interested in, just hit that like button below and let's get into building this. Right. So first thing we need to do is we're going to obviously just need to add a new page over here. And I'm just going to call this animated sections demo. And I'm going to use the Divi builder to build this. So if you want to build along with me, we're going to make use of a layout pack. So I'm using Divi 5 here. So for Divi 5, I would click in the top left-hand corner. If you're using Divi 4, you would have just clicked the use a pre-made layout when it was prompted the three options. So I'm just going to click over here and I'm just going to say pre-made layout. And on the side over here, I'm just going to say transport. And I want the landing page of transportation services. So I'm just going to click on that and I'm going to say use this layout. So that's going to load all of the things that we need for me to go run through this particular demo. And it does take a little while, depending on your internet speed. So I'm just going to let it run, and then I'll start the video again as soon as it's done. All right, so as I clicked there to stop the video, the whole thing loaded, so we're back. Okay, so I have this now loaded up. And you can see we've got the different sections going here. So there is the divider that we had previously. If you remember the animated one that we have over here, you can see it's over there. And over here, you can see it's there too. So if we scroll down, you can see over here, we have this particular divider over here that we're going to change. All right. So first things that we need to do is we're going to need to make this background a little bit more prominent. So make it a bit of a dark color so that the animation can stand out. So the color that I'm using is just a little bit darker on this one over here. And it is the E8 EAEF. All right, so you can just see it just makes it a little bit darker. You can use whatever color you want as long as it just provides a little bit more of a darker effect so that you can see the actual animation happening. Now the next thing that we want to do is we want to jump into the top section over here. So this is the beauty about Divi 5 is I don't need to go all the way up to click on the gear icon for the section settings. I can actually just click anywhere in here. As long as this is highlighted up and showing me the blue, it's going to give me the section settings on the right hand side here. Okay, so now that I have the section settings, what I want to do here is I actually want to remove the divider that's in there currently. So just come on here, divider style, and I want to remove this. Now, why am I removing this? Because essentially what I want to do is I want to put a new divider in here, but I want to put that new divider in its own section so that that section we can work with and that animation can then work by itself. It's not tied to any of the other sections. Okay, so once that is done, we're also going to want to remove the other one. And is that here? No, it's one down. Okay, so this one is tied to this section over here. So we also want to remove that one there. So divider, top, we want to make that none. Okay, so once these two are done, we can now go and add in our own new dividers. So if we come back to the top, we just click on the plus section here. And for the Divi 5 that I have currently, it asks you to actually do the column straight away. So I'm just going to click there, but I don't want any columns. So I'm just going to remove that, delete that row again. Okay, so once that is done, we now need to add in the bottom divider. So I'm just going to click on this section over here. We go to the dividers, and I want to be bottom. So we go all the way down. We want to use that same one that we had previously. So it's got that curve effect with the shadow effect. So I'm just going to select that. See, it's the same like what we had. And then we also want to make sure that it's the same color. So it looks like it is the same color already. So that's pretty good. All right. Then divider height. We want to push this way up. All right. So 1500. That looks pretty decent. Okay. So that is done. Now what we need to make sure is we need to jump into the animation. So we'll go to the bottom over here. We can start to build out the animation. So this one, we wanted it to slide. All right, so we don't want it to slide to the left. We want this to slide to the right. Okay, so there we go. We want it to come in from the side like that. Then we want to take it a little bit slower. So we just hit 2000 instead of the 1000. Okay, that's looking cool. Then we also want to make sure that the opacity is 100%. We don't want it to come in from like a hidden and fade into it. We want the color to be there from the start so that it just looks like it's sliding in like that. Okay, we can leave this as ease in and out. That should work fine. And we only want this to happen once. We don't want it to happen continually one after the other. All right, so once that is done, we can also then go and add another section to the bottom of this section. Same thing what we did, just click the columns and then just remove that row and jump into the section settings. Then for design, we want to go dividers. This one we want to be at the top. And we can choose, this one should work quite nicely. Yep, I think that should work. All right, so the divider height over here, it's using the same kind of color, so we can just leave the color. 260. Okay, we want to push this repeat to 2 so that we get more of these ups and downs. We also want to flip it vertically. Okay, that looks a bit cleaner. And we want this to be underneath the section content. Now, one thing we probably want to do here is we want to give this a little bit of padding, because otherwise it might not look good when it's actually dripping onto the car here. So if we go spacing and just padding, maybe 60 padding at the top, but the bottom, let's shoot it quite a bit. 160 there, that looks much better. Okay, get a bit of white space going there. And then we can jump into the animation. All right, so for this animation, we want to have it as a fold. Okay, we want this to go down. All right, excuse me, we want it to go slow, so 3000. The delay, we don't want any delay, we want it to happen as soon as we move on to here. Intensity, let's push the intensity up to 100%. Okay, and then starting opacity, let's again hit that up to 100%. We don't want it to fade in, we just want it to be the actual effect happening. All right, and then ease in and out, that's okay. And we only want this also to only happen once. Okay, and then that is it. If everything's been done correctly, this should give us the exact same effect as what we saw in the preview. So let's go and check this one out. Okay, so save and preview. All right, here we have. Let's scroll down slowly. So remember to keep your eye on the left-hand side over here. So we scroll, 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 scroll. There it comes. And so at the bottom of this one, let's see if it drips. There it goes. All right. And that should be quite cool. So that's how you can quite easily be a bit more animated with the dividers between your different sections. I hope this tutorial is helpful for you. And if it is, do hit that like button to let me know, because that keeps the motivation going so that I can create more content. And talking about creating more content, I'm still looking to create some more videos on Divi as I learn more about Divi. So if you want to join me on this journey, just make sure you subscribe so that you don't lose out on any future videos that I might be making. And as always, I just want to thank you for sticking with me. We actually almost made it under 10 minutes this time, but we'll see how we do in the next video. I'll see you then.